0 to 60 can define a performance car, but it's the fastest 60 to 0 that's the aim of Tarok's brakes. From road cars to race cars, circuits, special stages, or the autostrada, nothing reduces speed like Tarok's brakes. Italy gave the world the art of Da Vinci and Michelangelo. Tarok's has given drivers the art of stopping. For more information and to acquire your own masterpiece, visit tarox.co.uk.
I'd like to introduce to the Backseat Driver radio show one of rallying's legendary names and legendary personalities. A man who, by his own admission, was a farmer over in Yorkshire and didn't really start until 1973, but it didn't stop the fact he's become very well known. So I'd like to welcome the one and only Ron Beecroft. Ron, welcome to the Backseat Driver.
Thank you.
How did it all start? Because you don't come from a rallying background.
No, well, living in a little village, Leithley, near Otley, in Yorkshire. We're a small farm. We had a milk round. And my friend, the only young man in the village other than myself, he got involved with the motor club.
Yeah.
And he came to see me one day and he said, the RSA rally is running. Would you like to come and watch it with us, Ron? Because I used to drive my Morris 1000 pickup like a missile, but anyway. So we...
the fastest milkman in Yorkshire.
Yeah, that's it. Wreck every bottle we had. And he said, I'll pick you up and we'll go to watch this ferry. We're going at 10 o'clock at night. I said, 10 o'clock at night? I have to be back home for 5 o'clock in the morning. He said, don't worry. He said, we're going up to Dolby, a place called Dolby. So as we walked into Dolby, it's a well-known pub, and I can't say the name now, but all the stagemen knew where it was. There was a Datsun coming out, and I'd never heard anything like it in my life, and I think it could have been Tony Fall or Ronnie Altonen.
Yeah.
There were two works Datsuns, and then there was the Escorts, Mackin and Mikula and all this, and I never heard anything like it, and in them trees, that just sort of whetted my appetite, really.
Yeah.
And so, from then on, John said to me, well, why don't you join the motor club? I've joined Ilfrey Motor Club. And he said, do you know, you can do things like 12-car rallies at 7:30 at night and things like that, and there's driving tests, and there's...
so basically your early rallying had to fit in with the farm and everything else.
Always has done, really. Always has done. So we joined the motor club, and we set off to do a 12-car. John would navigate for me.
What were you driving?
I'd bought a Mark 1 Cortina GT.
Yeah.
And did I feel like a rally driver? And this would be before 73. This would be probably... I'm probably just getting my years wrong here. Maybe it could have been 71 or 72. We won this 12th car, so I'm a born-again rally driver. I'm a new man. I'm on the scene. So I bought a Ford Mexico off a guy in Ilkley Motor Club, and I thought I got a proper rally car because it had a sump guard and a hoop.
Yeah.
And I did a rally, and John Millington beat us in a Hillman Minx. So I thought there must be something about the other seat if a guy's beaten me in a Hillman Minx and I've got a Mexico, because at the time that was the car to have.
Yeah.
So we finished 12th or 11th, and this Minx won it. So I had a word with this navigator, John Millington, and that's how the relationship started.
Yeah.
And the funny story about this is that I asked him, you know, I sort of humbled myself and went across to him and said, if you ever fancy doing a rally, would you like to give me a ring? You'll go do it.
Yeah.
And so a few weeks later, I got a phone call. It's John Millington. I said, hello, John. Would you like to do a rally with me? I said, yes. I've got an entry on the plains. I said, where's that? He says, in Wales. I said, Wales? What do we have to go down to Wales? He says, there's a very good championship called the Motor News, and which I hadn't really heard of. And he said, it's one of the events. So we went down to Wales, I said, I don't even have a passport, you know. He says, you don't need one to get into Wales. I says, that'll do. When we virtually got there, he said, by the way, we don't have an entry.
Yeah.
I said, what are we doing down here? He said, I'm sure we'll get a run with the third reserve.
Yeah.
So we got a run at 54, somewhere just in there, in the semi-experts. So all the scrutineering was done, and we parked in this field at the back of this well-known garage somewhere just in mid-Wales. I can't mention the name now, but I've seen the garage since, and there were traffic lights out of George Hill, Russell Butch, Nigel Rocky, Bob Bean. All the superstars were there. And we're seated at 54. And I got out for a pee before the start, and I'm stood at the back of my car, and John has gone to 55, 56, 57, 58, and he's saying, if you catch 54 up, we've never been down here before, we've never been together before, we'll pull over you. So, and I'm thinking, you think I'm going to pull over for you? So we set off, and it was absolutely magic. And the unfortunate thing is, John got a fail. Now, a lot of the navigators, the well-known navigators, afterwards, and John knew why, you needed 3 maps in about 2 miles. And what the experienced navigators do, they cut a corner off that and a corner off that, stick it all together and they have it.
Yeah.
So when you came to this grass triangle, we approached it from one direction instead of the other. And poor old John got a fail. But we carried on. And if you look at the results, with the first one with a fail, but if we hadn't got the fail, I think the results are there to find. If you look, I think we're somewhere 12th, 13th.
Yeah.
So that would have been a hell of a result for 2 lads that had never been together competing against that sort of equipment and people with that knowledge. So that was the birth of John Millington and Ron Beecroft.
And where did it go from there? I mean,
excuse me.
You had a phenomenal career in rallying, and it must have all progressed from there, because you would have discovered that you weren't bad at this.
Yeah, well, and then we sort of fancied doing motor news event, and we did the Stocktonian. We were car number 120 on the Stocktonian, and how did they used to number that? 1 to 60 and then 120 to...
Yeah.
Anyway, we were car 120, and we won the novice. 2 weeks later, or a week later, it was the Illuminations, and we were semi-experts, and we won the semi-experts.
Yeah.
And in Motoring News report, it said, look out for these two. They've won the novice, they've won the semi-experts. Where are they going next?
Yeah.
So we started to do Motoring News events, what we could afford to do.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's always been an expensive sport. And people such as yourself and everybody else, the money that they're earning has to be, a lot of it has to be directed elsewhere to live and look after your family and house, etc.
Well, my late wife was the most wonderful woman who supported my rallying unbelievably. And when we lived in Harrogate and we were coming here, that's when we had the farm, when we had the milk round in Harrogate, actually. Yeah. She used to take students in, bed and breakfast, and that used to pay for my rallying. And as long as we had students coming in, we could pay for the rallying.
Yeah.
And when we stopped, and if we look back in times when I wasn't rallying, because we didn't have any students, in 75, I think, with no students, in 78 with no students, so rallying stopped basically. She funded my rallying unless I got sponsorship.
Right.
It was as simple as that, really.
And what cars were you driving at this period?
Well, I had the Yellow Mexico, and then I had a... What did I do? Why did I sell... yes, I know what happened to that. I wrote it off coming back to work one dinner time. Acting about. And that tells you I've never had a bad, serious accident driving a rally car, but I wrote one off coming back 3 miles from home to the farm.
Yeah.
One time. So that tells you never to act about. And so then I bought a white Mexico, and we had that for possibly 3 or 4 years, and then I bought an ex-Adlards. The Mexico was absolutely shattered. It had had its day.
Yeah.
So we bought an ex-Adlads Group 1 RS 2000
Yeah.
Mark 1, and we used that. And then I ran out of funds, and I sold it. And then we built a Sunbeam at 78, I think. We went and bought a body shell, and we built a Sunbeam. And
Any reason for the sudden swap to Sunbeam?
well, a guy just said to me, another good friend, he'd be interested in building a car, but he didn't want to build a Ford. Should we try something different? And I says, well, the Sunbeam's going to be an interesting car. Should we build it? Let's build a Sunbeam, he said. So we went with his car and trail and bought a body shell from down at competition department, and we started to see weld it in a little garage at the farm. And then we bought an Avenger, an old Avenger, for trim and door handles and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's how we built this Sunbeam. Graham put a 2 litre, he built the engine, a 2 litre push rod Brazilian block 2 litre into that car.
Yeah.
Just a 4-1 diff, close rate, and whatever gearbox was that you got from Talbot. And we used that to great success, and I thought that were a wonderful car, really. It could just go sideways, just a flick of your finger.
Yeah.
I enjoy driving that car. I enjoy driving every car, so,
Yeah.
you know, where do you go from there, you know? And the Sunbeam was, it was a magic thing, and the unfortunate thing is we didn't win the 2 championships. We only won 1 with that car.
Yeah. So after the Sunbeam, where did the cars progress, and how did Ron Beecroft progress?
Well, in 79, we won the championship. 80, that was with Milkman. We decided to use an Escort and a Group 4 car, beautiful car, but it wasn't successful for us. And so that was sold, and Minisport had been sponsoring me for 2 years.
Yeah.
So
I mean, with Minisport sponsorship, were you expected to drive Minis? Or?
No, they never asked me that. Brian, in the first place, Brian was going to sell Talbot bits.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm putting the cart in front of the horse here. I've forgotten that. Brian rang me and said he was thinking of selling Talbot bits. Would it be all right if he supported us and we put Minisport on the side of our car?
Yeah.
I said, not if you're paying the bills, Brian. No problem. So I went and was introduced to Heather, and we had the full grilling. And John and I went with a programme, and we met Brian and Heather. And Heather later said she thought they were being interviewed, wondering whether they were good enough for Ron Beecroft and John Millington, which I thought was quite funny. But no, that was a wonderful partnership. Very good friends of Brian and Heather, and all the Harper boys.
Yeah.
And long may it continue. And then, so Peter Smith from Swift Caravans rang me, and I'd been friends with Peter since 1974.
Yeah.
And I honestly thought he was a salesman.
Yeah.
And I'd been to his house, he'd been to our house, and he rang me up, and we were talking, conversation somewhere, and he said, what was I doing? I said, I don't really know, Pete. I haven't got a car. I don't know where we're going next year. He said, how would you like it if Swift sponsored you?
Yeah.
And my answer to that was, I said, you must have some clout with Swift. Because I said, what's your job there? Sales manager or what? He said, well, actually, you see, that's why you're a good friend. He said, I own Swifts.
Yeah.
I said, you own Swifts? Yeah. So that was a wonderful relationship. So we drove a car for Pete, and he sponsored us to drive Ernie Larton's Samba to do the Tarmac Championship.
Yeah.
And that was a wonderful experience. 2 events in Ireland, Epping, to places like that.
And a slightly unusual car compared to what you've been used to.
Yeah, but it was a wonderful little car. I mean,
they were great little cars, fantastic little cars.
I mean, I'd driven 2 Alfa Suds to decent. Well, both of them were broken down. I drove one for a man in Lincoln, and then I drove Greens. And I mean, we were whipping a lot of them on motor news events in them things.
Yeah.
The biggest laugh that we had about the Alfa Sud was John and I were coming to a hairpin, and I was going to handbrake it round, and I didn't realise until what happened, it locked front wheels because it brakes on front wheels.
Yeah.
So we nearly did a somersault that night. But so yeah, John was. Excuse me, I'm getting wrong again. The Samba, yeah, it was wonderful. It never got beat.
Yeah.
Every time we went out, we won the class. And then Pete Smith. Then after that, the car was sold, and Pete Smith. Then we built Virginia.
Yeah.
And that was the start of the last rally car I had. We built that in '85. Pete Smith provided me with the engine, the car, everything. I put fuel in it.
Yeah.
Wonderful sponsorship. We won the championship in '85. We were unlucky not to win it in '86, but we won it in '87. We were.
I mean, at the time, the Motoring News Championship was serious, wasn't it? I mean, it was anybody and everybody wanted to drive in it. Anybody and everybody wanted to do well in it. And one of the highlights, not being funny, were the legendary breakfasts at the end of every rally.
They're wonderful at breakfast. I can remember going into Mellin Hall and finishing the Devils, and John Gill, an old friend of mine who's passed away, he had a garage at Beedale. He used to say, the best place you can go for breakfast is Mellin Hall. He says, that big girl, she puts her hand into that bowl of cornflakes and slaps it into the dish. He says, there you are, lad, off you go. With some wonderful times rallying, very wonderful times.
Hidden away in the heart of the Ribble Valley, Specialised Automotive Services offer unrivalled levels of talent for all types of vehicles. All makes and models, old and new, are cared for with the exact same levels of detail. From accident repairs, paintwork, or even full bespoke bare metal resprays. Mechanical rebuilds to full replacement or modifications of defunct electrical systems. Specialised Automotive Services offer traditional engineering and mechanical skills along with the company's constantly updated digital systems and diagnostics. Each SAS technician embodies the SAS ethos of ensuring everything is in order and exactly as it should be. To arrange a guided tour of the workshops and the new vehicle finishing and detailing bay, call Dean on 01282 776 081 or visit sas-autos.co.uk.
And it created a lot of well-known rally drivers, such as yourself. I mean, a lot of big names came from it.
There was a lot of big names came from it, and it's how you could follow up getting out of road rallying into stage rallying.
Yeah.
I asked Pete Smith, straight out, I said, after we won the championship in '85, I says, is there any chance we could have a go at doing British Championship? Tarmac and trees, getting into that.
Yeah.
And he said, do you know what that's going to cost me, Ron? I said, I know, I have a good idea what it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
Now he said, I'm a businessman. How many times have you had a colour photograph on front of Motor News, winning Motor News Championship?
Yeah.
How many times will you get it if I put the bill 10 times?
Yeah.
Can you get me a load of photographs?
Yeah.
He says, I said, I can't guarantee that, can I, Pete?
No.
No, he says, nobody can guarantee anything like that. So he said, probably you've been too successful road rallying. And he says, I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
So that's why we stayed good friends and we stayed doing Motor News Championship. I do find it probably envious that I never got a real crack in the forest.
Yeah.
I mean, I drove a Skip Brown Avenger in 1980. I think if we look back, I finished somewhere about 25th overall.
Yeah.
We won Group 1 with 12 minutes. And we cruised round. It was...
I mean, to win by 12 minutes is like, that's serious, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but...
You could have stopped and had a brew and still won.
Yeah, well, I could, but I just found it so easy.
Yeah.
And people said, are you tired? And it must have been adrenaline. I was never tired.
Yeah.
And my navigator never, ever drove on that rally. It was Steve Fellows, who at the time was quite poorly, but I didn't realise. We've lost Steve a few years later. He used to be Verglass for Motoring News,
yeah,
the rally correspondent. And I got him to go with me because I knew him through road rallying. I thought he'd get me good coverage for Skip Brown.
Yeah.
And I was just basically pulled in to get a result for Skip Brown because he had two guys that were going to win the classes, and I was the old man that's going to pedal around and get a finish. And I wasn't really pleased about that, being classed as an old man that were going to pedal a car out steady away. I wanted to have a real go, and I did. And I never put a mark on that car.
Yeah. So, I mean, though the bulk of it was tarmac, you did do a little bit of stages, forestry. How did you find the switch to forestry? Did you enjoy it and wish you'd done more?
Yes, I did wish I'd done more.
Yeah.
And I found it dead easy. As John Millington would say...
I suppose driving up and down a farm will give you the... it's like the ultimate practice, isn't it?
John Millington, I was with John Millington a few nights ago, and we were doing a thing for Malton Motor Club, and I go, and I said to somebody, I said to the people that were there, if you ask John Millington, he will tell you, and he can't deny it, that he used to say I was a lazy driver. And if Ron had tried, it could have been good. Now, I don't know the answer to that, because everybody does what they do.
Yeah.
But when the lads were preparing my rally car in the yard, or in the building, in the farmyard, the two lads that used to come and look after it, as well as John, I wasn't allowed to touch it, because all the thing I could use was a welder, or something like that, or a 30mm spanner.
Yeah.
So I would
keep your hands off it. The only thing you've got to do is drive it.
Yeah. And they would say, take it out and try it. And I used to say, no, you take it up road, Phil. It's right for you. It'll be right for me.
Yeah.
And John is one of them. He was talking to somebody one night, and they said, what's it like sitting with Ron? And he says, well, put it this way. I've never ever worried when he gets into the seat. I've never ever... Because he's so relaxed when he drives.
Yeah.
And he said if you put 4 different tyres on the corner of his car, he said he'd set off. He said, "Bye, it's slippy tonight, John." Ooh. And he drives around problems.
Yeah.
But he said he's so fanatical at the start that nobody's to get near his spotlights. He has to finally touch his tyre pressures. Nobody has to touch them after I've set them.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we get set off, if you put in 4 different tyres on it, think, oh, that's slippy tonight.
Yeah.
We'll manage. But that's what life's all about, isn't it? Just enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, of all the cars you rallied, which was the one that you liked the most? Or which was the one that you wish you hadn't parted with?
I should never have parted with Virginia, should I? I let that go very cheap to somebody, but that was before historic rallying started.
Yeah.
I mean, after the Motor News Championship finished, I supported the Mull Car Club because I thought a lot about Brian Molyneux.
Yeah.
And he used to, when they were trying to get closed roads, on his way back home, he used to come across the 66, he used to come down the A1, and he used to call in to see my late wife and myself to tell us how he was getting on with closed roads. I've never forgotten it. And I said, Brian, no need to come over here, just give us a ring.
Yeah.
He says, Ron, you support us, we support people. A wonderful relationship with Brian Molyneux. And so we went back and we did the 2 little moles. And I think my late wife navigated both times. We finished second both times doing the little moles, just in forests or little bits of broken tarmac. It wasn't on public roads.
Yeah.
And then John and I went back when we did the first mole.
Yeah.
And Andy Knight won it in a Atkinson 1600 Nova.
Yeah.
And we finished second in Old Virginia. And that was the last time we took it out.
I mean, Mull has become a legendary rally, hasn't it?
Yes.
And yeah, the stories that people tell. How did you like Mull?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I really did love it. We were so... I'm not trying to portale, but if we look back over my finishing record on rallies, Mull has got to be the ultimate disappointment for finishing, because we retired so many times.
Oh, right.
Distributor drive on a sunbeam, on a new... Why does the distributor drive shear on a sunbeam? Why does your wiper motor mechanism drop off and you can't get it back on? Things like that. You know, I couldn't believe it. And you can't go to Mull without your wipers. We'd done first night, going absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And then lads said, wiper motor... Well, I said, wipers aren't working. I said, just... You can't get to them, lad. Dashes to pull off. So we're OTL.
Yeah.
Little things. A pin came out of a gearbox. It's never done it before. Ian Grindrod was once watching on the old Vets Road, and our rally car really was well used.
Yeah.
And the thing, because we were doing the Motoring News Championship, we'd probably done a rally only a week or so before, or 2 weeks before, so we're up to Mull then. When a lot of lads were just doing Mull, building cars, all deuce, everything.
Yeah.
And Ian Grindrod was watching John and me on what they call the Vets Road, and it's very yumpy.
Yeah.
And we saw Ian Grindrod in Tobermory in the afternoon, and he just came up to us, and in his Lancashire accent, he says, "Have you two got a death wish?" And I said, "What the hell are you on about here?" And he said, "My God," he said, "you've no suspension on that car." I says, "We have." He says, "It's rebounded, it's bouncing all over the road." He says, you'll be trouble sick."
Yeah.
And I took that on board. The year we went back to Mull, the following year when we won Mull, that's when it had all new suspension on it. And that were 85. So I haven't told Ian Grindrod there he did me a favour, but yeah, he did.
Well, Ian was on the show a couple of weeks ago.
God believe all of Mr. Geese said. Whatever happened to be with it? How can I follow Ian Grindrod? Yeah, no way.
Well, it's one of them things. I mean, I know he's had his turn, but when you look at the people he's co-driven for, I mean, it's a who's who of rallying.
Yeah, well, Ian Grindrod's a personality. You get it as it is for Ian Grindrod. He don't butter up to anybody.
Yeah.
If he thinks you're crap, you'll say you're crap. Oh, that means rubbish. You know, and if he thinks you're doing well, he probably expects you to drive well because that's why he's with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I never wanted compliments of anybody when I was driving. I'd rather somebody had said to me, "Come on, pull your finger out," or whatever. John Millington probably has twice said to me, "Hey, just steady up a bit, fella, calm down a bit."
Yeah.
If I were getting a bit irate.
You're a bit enthusiastic.
Yeah, I mean, we did the Manx in 80. We won Group 1 on the Manx with an RS 2000, the old red Mark 1 RS 2000, 90, it's late 79, 80, 81, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And we did a seeding stage, and I can't remember where we were seeded, but we were behind two Porsches. And in the evening, we're in our car, like it just sounded like an ordinary RS. That's what it was, just an RS 2000.
Yeah.
And we came down into this road behind these two Porsches. A guy walks into the middle of the road. He puts his hand up. He says, "Sorry, lad, you can't come down here." He says, "There's a rally on." And John said, "Have a look outdoors." He says, "We've got the number there." He says, "We're following these cars." So we pulled in there, and I thought, he just put a smile on my face. But what I did enjoy about that, in the dark, I caught one of these Porsches and passed him.
Yeah.
And that
would have really impressed him, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, did he have a problem? Did he have a flat tyre?
Yeah.
But it daylighted me all over us, I suppose, wouldn't it? But I was used to driving it dark, and a lot of those people weren't, you see.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing now, you look at modern rallying, and I once said to somebody, I said, "Have you noticed what's not fitted to a modern rally car?" "What?" I said, "Spotlights." I said, "They don't go out at night time."
No, they don't. They don't.
For them to do the motoring news, you would have cut your teeth on night rallying because it was all night time.
It was all night rallying. You had to have your lights set up right, and that was it. You drove on them lights.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's why when we did the RAC rally in the Avenger, I wanted to set my lights up as I wanted them.
Yeah.
And a good lad, Steve King, was spannering for me. And we got it all set up right, and Steve were brilliant in that service bars that week. And I loved it. And in the dark, we were putting up some impressive times.
Yeah.
Compared to daylight. I mean, I remember in the daylight, that Sal van der Merwe, South African, catching me in daylight somewhere in Lake District, going up this hill. And I just thought we were stood still, and he came past me. And he passed me on the right hand, and he took some lights out with his back tyres as a front grabber. But then I caught him past him in Wales at dark.
Yeah.
So, you know, it just shows that having the experience of driving in the dark, doing motoring news events, we were a lot quicker, probably pro rata in the forest.
Yeah.
In the dark.
And it has to be asked, I conclude, what did you have up front of them, civvies?
There'd be civvies in them days, yeah, I think so, yeah.
which regrettably you struggle to get these days. Apparently they are brought into the country, but when you ring the importers up, can I have some? No.
Well, it's something I was looking at the other day, and it was something that somebody had put on the press or something, and saying that these civvies aren't now as good as the modern lights that you can get, but I don't know what you can get now. I mean, when we finished off road rallying, we were using Hellas.
Yeah.
Because probably one of the sponsors we supply in Hellas, so that's why I had colour whites.
I mean, I've heard this before, and on some of the events that you and I have done, where such like as the Morecambe Car Club take a lot of the motoring news stages that were run at night time and you run them as a navigation run in daytime. And a lot of the drivers have said, if we'd have known what them roads were like, we'd never have driven as fast, because like you, they were just driving on a big bank of spotlights.
Yeah, you never see the drops, do you? You never see the drops. I mean, when you're making your pace notes on mull, and you practice it on mull, and you see the drops, and you have this thing like, whoa, I'll have to be careful when we've come down here. But once it's dark, and once somebody says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, that actually has to go out of your head.
You're off.
Because if you have that in your head, in my opinion, this is Ron Beecroft's opinion, you're an accident looking for somewhere to happen.
Yeah.
You've got to be 101% focused on what's actually happening, what your navigator's saying. There's no ifs about, it might be like this, watch that drop there. Don't go too near that. If you get that in your head, you're an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah. I mean, when you were rallying at the halts, did you pay a lot of attention to where your competitors were? Did you just like to, right, let's do what we're doing, get back in the car and go again? Or did you think to yourself, I'm going to have to go faster and faster and faster?
Never thought that in my life.
Yeah.
Never. I was doing my own thing. Quite interesting. When start of the rally, when John's putting the route down, I would probably go and have a sleep somewhere, out away.
Yeah.
Somewhere at the corner of a car park in half an hour.
Yeah.
My late wife would come and get, Ron, it's time to go. I would go, get in the car, 10 minutes before time to go. We'd go on the run out, and I'd say, how long have we got, John? I'll just have a word with Marshall. And probably after we were car one, later years, we've got 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Or 20 minutes. And I'd just say, right, give us a shout, John, with 5 minutes to go, and I could just go to sleep.
Yeah.
And a lot of drivers would come up, and John would say, shh, be quiet, shh, Ron's asleep.
Yeah.
He's asleep. Does he manage to sleep before a rally? And John says, yeah, he just drops off.
Yeah.
And John would give me a tap, and I'd get out of my car, say, 5 minutes, fella, and I'd have a leak, a drink of Lucasade.
Other fizzy drinks are available.
Stretch me out.
That'd be in the good old days when Lucasade bottles came wrapped in like orange polyester.
Was stuffed in a little bag at the back of my seat.
Yeah.
I knew exactly where it was. And jump in the car, get my belts on, crack it up, wait for oil to get warm, and then the adrenaline started to flow. And I would put the car into gear with 30 seconds to go, but I couldn't hold my foot on the clutch.
Right.
Because my left foot was trembling.
Yeah.
That's adrenaline.
Yeah.
I had to pull it into neutral. I was like, I'll have another go, and I couldn't. So it were 5. As soon as I get into 5, bang it into gear, and I could hold it, and then we were off.
Yeah.
And possibly we would be probably one of the quickest out of the blocks.
Yeah.
I can't explain that. I could be on what I call my pace virtually straight away.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what the answer to that is or where it's come from.
I suppose it's what you might call a subconscious mental attitude.
You're a more experienced man than me, a cleverer man than me. I just did what I did, and I loved every minute of it, and I found it so easy.
Yeah.
That's why I loved it so much.
I think, without being boastful, over the years of presenting the Backseat Driver, I've spoken to a lot of exceptional drivers, both rally and race. And the one thing I've learned is they are, shall we say, unique, individual. They don't know why, but it's just, for a better term, they're born that way.
Possibly so. Possibly so. I think you're probably right, actually. I think that idea is back to what John Millington says. He's just lazy, he's Ron. He just does what he does.
Yeah.
I found it so easy. Right from day one, driving cars, I just found it so easy. And I used to drive seemingly very fast.
Yeah.
I mean, before I was rallying, I bought a little Mini Cooper. And people used to say, he used to frighten us to death in that damn thing. and I just used to love driving it and throwing it about. It didn't matter to me whether it was front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
I did a lot of driving tests. I did a lot of pre-CTs in a Sunbeam,
Yeah.
a little stiletto.
Oh, yeah.
And I won my class all over with that. And driving tests, I took me Mexico because Ilkley Motor Club was in what was then the Shell League.
Yeah.
And we were we had to put a team in at British Car Auctions to do the driving tests.
Yeah.
And it was also an RAC Championship meeting.
Yeah.
So with all the top men who just do nothing but driving tests.
Yeah.
So their cars are all set up to do driving tests. And I take my old cam in Mexico, and it's revving and driving, but I was fairly handy at driving it. And I beat Nord in his Volkswagen. I'm trying to think, man in his Mexico. And I won the class. And they came to me and he says, don't ever get a car for this game. He says, we won't get near you. That sounds like I blow my trumpet, but I just found that so easy. I just found it so easy. And that's driving. I've been lucky, haven't I?
One last question for a quick answer. Do you miss it?
A quick answer to that.
It has to be a quick answer, running out of time.
Go on then. I miss it, but I don't regret it.
Yeah.
I loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
All right?
And some fantastic memories that went with it.
Wonderful memories and wonderful friends.
And wonderful cars now. There were rally cars. Now you'll probably sit back and think, do you know how much that's worth today?
I know. What do you see what I sold mine for?
Ron Beecroft, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you.
Thanks,
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Rarely beaten on price, never beaten on service. Whether it's cars, bikes or commercials, Hoddy Tyres are the best in the business. And when it comes to tyre expertise and advice to supplying the correct tyres for your vehicle's specific requirements, nobody comes close to David Lakin and the Hoddy Tyres team. So give them a call on 01200 613 192 or visit the website at hoddytyres.co.uk.